We're here in Parque Araucano in Santiago, Chile. It's a dirt path, so I know that's probably going to have a little effect on the power as far as a softer ground than concrete, but we're going to go and do some basic testing with it and see what comes out. I haven't gotten enough time with the power pod yet to see how effective it's going to be during training and racing, although I do like it. I do like the numbers, but since I don't have a heads-up display in front of my face, I'm not always watching the power numbers. It's something I'll have to treat like I do pace and heart rate, I guess, and just keep a periodic eye on it. Okay, remember when you run with power, which is actually, I find, way better than the heart rate so far, is when I start off, my heart rate is always way lower than the effort I'm putting out. And it takes a while for it to catch up as I get a little fatigued. And then also as I go later in the run, like yesterday, where I was dehydrated as hell, my heart rate was going up, or stayed higher because, well, it was hot. I was partially sunburned and way dehydrated. So, what I found was using my power numbers was better than using my heart rate in this case, because I was trying to keep in, specific zones. And the nice part was that the power gave me a much better indicator of the work I was doing versus what my heart rate was doing. Yeah, there's probably going to be some people who are going to argue that, well, if my heart rate's out of the zone, then I'm out of the zone, but I'd argue that's an environmental effect based on distance or duration running and dehydration, but did not necessarily correspond to how hard I was working. My power directly did. So far I am seeing that benefit, but again, it's kind of not having that heads-up display. It means I'm only checking it periodically. But to be fair, that's what I do at the heart rate anyways, so it's not that huge of a difference. When you're running with power, it's just the same as cycling with power. We want to make sure we're staying where we need to be based on what we're trying to do. So whether it's an easy run like today, where other than those few uphills I'm going to do, I want to keep my power down into the low 200s, high 190s is good. We want to make sure, though, when we're doing other training, it's harder, more intense, that we're staying in zone. And so far what I'm seeing is, on the power pod here, it's instantaneous power, or 1 second power it seems like, versus 3 second, which obviously is good from the perspective of I'm getting instantaneous change, but it means there's a lot of fluctuation. And if it is 3 second power, okay, I'm still getting some good amount of change, which I'm not sure yet if that means anything for my efficiency or it's the constant change of terrain that I'm on. We'll have to try on some other roads when I get back home. The other thing is the app for the iPad and iPhone for Stryd. Well, it gives you a report of what you did on the run. It doesn't really allow you to go into the metrics of leg stiffness very well and some of the other concepts that Stryd has introduced, which still, to be honest, learning a little bit about and trying to figure out whether it means much to me. But we're going to continue on with this, see what comes of it, and hopefully this will help me some running efficiency like it's helped with my bike. Always makes things more interesting. Okay, so we're coming up on the short steep hill. I'm going to do this multiple times. Go a couple different times for different focus. I'll go up once really hard. I'll go up just trying to stay steady, and then I'll go once trying to keep my power steady. So difference of perceived effort steady and power steady. So for full disclosure, we will show the hill we're getting ready to go up. Again, nothing spectacular, but good enough to show us some differences. So there we have it, short, steep. Heading into the hill, I'm going to do perceived effort the same. So you can see I am going up. I am not trying to attack the hill. And we saw my numbers go way up. Okay, so this time I'm going to try and hold about 215 or so going up. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that's going to drive my pace way down, if it's going to even be possible. Okay, so far so good. Seems to be working just like my bike. The power meter I have on that, so far good testing. So far, the biggest issue I think I'm going to have is not having something to monitor consistently without looking at my watch. And yes, I know I can get the Garmin sunglasses with the heads-up display, but come on, I'm good without that right now. All right, we're jogging back down the hill. You'll see my numbers drop way back down. Now we're gonna hit it hard. All right, here we go. Okay, so 350, 365 is what I went out at max. I haven't done any max power testing with this. Try that another day, maybe a little bit later today. I definitely note huge difference in what I can hit max on the bike vice the run so far, but I'm sure there's a lot of mathematical reasons for that, to which I am not privy at this point, but we can see it another time. Alright, one more attempt hard. I just hit 390 going up the hill. Ramping it up. Alright, maxed out at 371 there. I think when I can't move my arms because I have the camera, I got a little less power. Okay. So that's all we've got for our Stryd PowerPod testing. You can see this is the PowerPod I had in my shoe. Mounts right there. I barely know it's there. Pretty light. In fact, it's lighter than my watch, so that's something easy to have on the shoes. I definitely like this setup, like this, vice the heart rate monitor strap that previously existed. It's probably the only reason I did not try it when it first came out. I hate running with a chest strap. I use the skosh right now on my forearm. I find that to be much more comfortable, and it doesn't slide down, as I'm a slighter built runner. The chest straps get to be a bit of a pain. The Stryd seems to put out good numbers, similar to what I do on the bike for a similar effort. I am noticing that my efforts feel more consistent vice with my heart rate, as I mentioned in the video. Today I did a nice little 14-miler with no food or water for the most part, and I did definitely have some heart rate variation towards the end as I was dehydrated again. And the power number stayed relatively the same, and I did feel when I was starting to fade, I actually saw the numbers fade, and that kind of helped out keep the numbers back up. And I did not pay as much attention to pacing today because I was just focused on the power, and I also felt that made my run a little more consistent as I had some definite terrain variations throughout the day. It's a good little tool so far. I think it's going to be something I'll definitely continue to use in my training, and we'll continue to figure out how it fits into everything as we continue the training through the next 2 months, especially as we start hitting the base really hard and move through into some specificity and some speed training. I think I've got 10K coming up on the 14th, so that's going to be pretty much an FTP test for me at about 35 minutes or so, and we'll see what those numbers come out with. Alright, well that's all from Evil Elf Racing today, and we hope to see you guys next time.